Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. D. Lynn, thank you so very much. Hope all is well. Thank you for watching, everyone. The 12th Amendment states that no one, quote, ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible to that of vice president of, the 12th Amendment states that no one, quote, ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible to that of the vice president of the United States. The 22nd Amendment, the not Franklin Delano Roosevelt Amendment, states that, quote, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. The operative word here might be elected. If President Obama were selected as Clinton's running mate and she had to leave office for any reason, then Obama would succeed her. At least one constitutional expert is on record saying there is nothing to prevent such a scenario. So let's just read this article. I know it's a bit confusing, but let's just read this because this is interesting. A Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama ticket to replace Joe Biden. Is it even possible? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to my super chat. Thank you. You give me every incentive in this. First of all, if you support me during live chat or Patreon or anything, just thank you, because I know these are tough times for everybody. But Biden is done, and this is an article in The Hill. This is an article in The Hill. And if you look, type in Joe Biden, every single article about Biden is horrible. It is playing out exactly the way I've been saying. Nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. Nobody wants to think that I could have been right since 2017. Nobody wants to say that they don't have a political party. It's all been a complete and utter theatrical performance. I told you in 2017 Clinton would be nominee. We are now seeing Madam Secretary slowly creep back. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, Clinton is going to be nominee. And this is not rocket science. They don't have a viable option. They never had a viable option. They never had a candidate or candidates that could have won. Nobody on that debate stage, including Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders was always going to be cheated. They were always, Bernie Sanders is a Green Party candidate. I learned this the hard way. In 2016, he actually appealed to conservatives because he talked a lot about foreign policy and bringing home Americans. That's why I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. And I was on the left, and I viewed myself to be a progressive, whatever that word means. Who knows what that means anymore? No one knows what that means anymore. Hillary Clinton is a progressive, so there you go. Max Boot and Bill Kristol have a progressive foreign policy, so there you go. And progressives obsess over one country. That's it. And it's not the United States of America. One country. I'm not going to get into it on the live stream. Then they claim to be fighting authoritarianism, which is interesting. But a Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama ticket to replace Joe Biden, is it even possible? Today, every single day, The Hill now is publishing articles where they're basically saying exactly what I've been saying. Democrats are scouring Jimbo. HA's the Oracle of LA. Jimbo, thank you. Thank you. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, Jimbo, thank you again. Thank you. Let me just read this. Desperate times do indeed call for desperate measures for the Democrats. A truly desperate time could come if Joe Biden is forced to withdraw from the presidential race. While the former vice president is the presumptive Democratic nominee to face off against President Trump in November, his nomination is still far from official. We know this. I have been telling you this the whole time. There's no way Biden's going to be nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, there is not a difference. There's not a wide difference. There's not a great difference between your viewpoint of Biden and the DNC's viewpoint. Do you not think they realize he's horrendous? Do you not think they know? There's not a chasm separating you and the DNC. There's not this long divide between you watching H.A. Goodman and H.A. Goodman's other channel and subscribe to that, and Bizarro World Goodman. I'll have a segment later this evening. But there's not that much of a difference. Don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't see exactly what Democrats see. Don't think that you don't see exactly what they see. They know Biden is horrendous. They cannot possibly view the Democratic Party or primary in the manner that I do. They can't possibly view that in the manner I do. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, why have I been harping on this? Everybody on the planet, left and right, conservative, progressive, everybody on the planet was duped again. There was only one person who wasn't duped. There's only one person. One person. If people are like, oh yeah, people are talking about it now. Yeah, I've been talking about it since 2017. Because it's the basis of Trump Russia, Michael Flynn getting set up, them using a dossier purchased by Clinton. They would never allow what happened to Clinton what happened to Trump to happen to Clinton ever. They would never allow that. They would never allow that. They would never in a million years allow that. So the question is, why was Michael Flynn set up? Why was President Trump set up? Why did they cheat Bernie Sanders? These are questions that are answered by my viewpoint, my philosophy on the Democratic Party and American politics, and my prediction. The answer is that the Democratic Party is a political machine, whereas Tammany Hall controlled politics in New York in the 1800s and early 1900s. They've taken that nationwide. The Democratic Party is a political machine that runs MSNBC, CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times. They don't pay the checks, but they run the narrative. They run the narrative. Trump said both sides. He said both sides. Oh my God, he actually said both sides. He never said that bigots were fine people. He never said that, nor did he mean that. They have to inject intent and motivation. And with Clinton, they say, well, there was no intent. The intent to commit crimes, the intent to say things that people shouldn't say is usually on the Democratic Party side. But then they demand context. They demand that you understand the nuance and the context, and if you don't, you're deliberately lying and you're saying things falsely without any evidence. But if, for example, it's President Trump, and like 3 or 4 different times he condemns the violence and bigotry, and it's never enough, and then he says, well, there were conservatives that were good people who wanted statues up, then it's, oh my God, he's actually saying that the people with torches were good people, and they were bigots, and they were racist. And oh my God, you see, he's speaking to his base. He's speaking to his subliminal base. Don't you understand? He's speaking to his subliminal base. This is the people who helped him get elected. Then you have Jussie Smollett. Then you have all the horrible things that Hollywood celebrities have stated. Then you have impeachment based on the belief. Do you understand? Biden is about to be replaced, and they impeached Trump under the notion that he was afraid of Biden. Do you believe that? Can you believe that? So, let's just continue reading. Some Democrats tell me they fear that Biden's political survival is getting more problematic with each passing day. Gee, who told you this? Who told you this? They cite three main issues. The first is their concern that an allegation of assault leveled against Biden by former staffer Tara Reade won't go away anytime soon. If anything, it appears to be about to gain new life. Next, they worry that another shoe could drop regarding questions related to Biden's son Hunter and his business dealings. Lastly, some Democrats are concerned about Biden's age and possible cognitive issues. A concern that some have also expressed about Trump. Well, they expressed that about Trump because they're just trying to find some way to get him out of office. Trump is he's completely fine. Trump is sharper, and you have to understand, he's dealing with the most petulant millennials going after him. You said this. Like the other day, this one, this guy was a little older than millennial, but this guy was like, your ODNI, your director of national intelligence came out with a memo saying that they disagree with you. And then Trump was like, well, who in the office? I don't know, your director. And then people were like, oh, he doesn't even know that Richard Grenell is his acting director. Yes, he does. Richard Grenell is a very strong Trump supporter. If you think that Trump didn't know Richard Grenell was the acting director, you have a problem. But the statements that come out from agencies or departments usually have a spokesperson. Notice how the person asking the question never stated, well, this spokesperson, and here's the person's name. They didn't even bother to ask. They didn't even bother probably to read the whole statement. But they're always, this is the thing. Their goal is not to help. Their goal is not to be a conduit. The White House press corps their goal is not to be a conduit between the president and the American people. Their goal is simply to embarrass and demean President Trump. None of them are Trump supporters. Actually, maybe there's a couple of networks, maybe one network or two networks, and so 90%, 95% of the reporters there, their only goal in life is to just get Trump in a gotcha, so they're like, their life could be fulfilled, so they could tell their grandchildren, I got Trump, and he told me something that was marked 3/4 true by factcheck.org. They didn't do that with President Obama. Kim Griffith! They impeached to cover their crimes. They failed. Exactly. They impeached to cover their crimes, and they impeached simply to go and try to make everything morally relative, because Clinton was going to be the nominee always. This is the key to understand. Clinton was going to be the nominee always. It was never, ever, ever. There was never a situation where Bill de Blasio or Eric Swalwell could have won. Okay? Hate to break it to you, that was never a situation. Bill de Blasio and Eric Swalwell were never going to win. I know it sounds difficult to comprehend. I know you were really hoping that Beto O'Rourke and Eric Swalwell and Bill de Blasio and Amy Klobuchar were going to become president. I know it was very difficult to comprehend how they couldn't. They had such a massive support, nationwide. But you know what? Another issue. Okay, Michael Bloomberg didn't put $1.2 billion, even if he doesn't care about the money. He didn't put the money in for Biden. That makes no sense at all. That makes absolutely no sense at all. He did not put the money in for Biden. That is absurd. Absolutely, positively absurd. Michael Bloomberg put in $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's continue. In 3 months, desperate times do indeed call for desperate measures for Democrat. A truly desperate time could come if Joe Biden is forced to withdraw from the presidential race. Now people are saying Biden's going to withdraw. Kim, thank you. Now people are saying Biden's going to withdraw. What have I been telling you? And it's not a matter of me telling you, like, the prediction's going to happen, and people will realize that I've been right since 2017. The issue is, what relevance is this to American politics as an aggregate? What relevance? The relevance is that the whole thing is American politics is predicated upon the narrative spun by Democrats and media beholden to the Democrats. Jimbo! Great BCP segment on the Biden's corruption in Delaware. I have to check it out. Black Conservative Patriot is awesome. He is awesome. Jimbo, thank you so very much. Thank you, Jimbo. As always, thank you, Jimbo. Yeah, Black Conservative Patriot is awesome. I have to check that segment out. Biden is a corrupt politician. He is a corrupt politician. He's always been either corrupt or inept. Jimbo, thank you. Biden has always been either corrupt or inept or he was always kind of sleazy in a way. He always had that kind of fabricated, folksy, salt of the earth, working class kind of shtick. Even he was on a panel for Major League Baseball to discuss the steroid issue. This was years back. And he had this whole funny thing. The clip was on Bigger, Faster, Stronger, a great documentary on performance-enhancing drugs and sports. And they have this clip of Biden was like, if I knew that I was competing against people who had, I'd take them to the woodshed. And then he was almost going to cuss, but then he stopped himself. But the whole thing was an act. He was doing his little charade about how he really wants to say something, but then he just holds himself and all this stuff for a long time. It's nothing to do with some kind of difficulty communicating. That's nonsense. You don't say senator for 40 years or 30 plus years if you have a difficult time communicating. But here, for Democrats, a truly desperate time could come if Joe Biden is forced to withdraw from the presidential race. While the former vice president is the presumptive Democratic nominee to face off against President Trump in November, his nomination is still far from official. That's because he will not be nominee. That's because they're not going to... Okay, if they lose with Clinton, they tank the political party, but not... They tank the political party, but... They could, let's put it this way, they could rebound faster losing with Clinton than losing with Biden. Biden would leave them in complete and utter disarray. If they lose with Clinton again, which they will eventually, at least the I'm with her people will finally realize, look, you ain't going to... Madam Secretary ain't going to win. People do not want Madam Secretary, but she'll run again in 2024, so she could possibly win then. It's a political machine. If Boss Tweed lived in this day and age, he'd be Bill and Hillary Clinton, or he'd be one of them. He'd be Bill. So let's continue. Some Democrats tell me they fear Biden's political survival is getting more problematic. Okay, I read that. Next, they worry that another shoe could drop. Okay. For those reasons and a few more, might we envision Biden being privately talked into retiring from the race or voluntarily doing it so himself? I mentioned this possibility about weeks ago. No matter what happens, they're going to find a way for Biden to drop out, either voluntarily or he'll be forced out. They're not going. This was also never. This was all scripted. This was never. There was no serendipity. Is that the word? There was no. This was all scripted. This was all scripted. It was all preordained, scripted. They cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016, and then people miraculously believed that they wouldn't be cheating in 2020. I don't understand why. Valerie Rogers, Biden's just a placeholder for boss. Exactly, Valerie, exactly. Look. You have June, July, and August. I believe, this is not a prediction about how it's going to play out. It behooves the Clinton campaign. To at least become the front runner, or at least become the viable option before the convention. I don't believe she wants to go into the convention, the centennial of the 19th Amendment, wrestling control away from the Titanic Biden. I don't believe that the Democratic Party wants to, relive the 2 hours and 40 minutes of the Titanic sinking. It took the Titanic 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink. They don't want to have a slow demise. I don't think a slow and protracted demise for Biden is worth. Like the gig is up. Everyone knows it's a complete scam. You're not fooling anyone. And furthermore, Clinton and the Democratic Party, they don't have to worry about taking it from Biden. This is what I don't get. They have the most conniving, cutthroat, duplicitous, disingenuous, insidious political operatives working for Madam Secretary. Why don't they just take it from Biden? And Democrats will be fine with it. The media will be fine with it. Anyone who says anything bad will be a Russian operative, horrible human being who should never procreate again and should be banished in a Space Force module, to Jupiter. It takes a second to get the average Democratic voter and progressive, by the way, not just, I would say 70% of progressives and 99.9% of Democrats. It takes a second to pump a narrative into the airwaves, and then they'll repeat it. How many quote unquote progressives were pushing the absurd narrative that Trump withheld military assistance because he was going after Biden? Asperger's adulthood. Distracted. Bruce Lee in a tank top. H.A. in a tank top directly to a planned or coincidence? Just coincidence. Just coincidence. But I love Bruce Lee. Asperger's adulthood. I love Bruce Lee. I think we all do. He is He's one of the most amazing, not just martial artists, but and not just movie personalities, Hollywood personalities. But I think Bruce Lee is one of the most amazing martial artists, one of the most amazing personalities in the 20th century. His movies are phenomenal, and his philosophy, the Jeet Kune Do philosophy, is amazing. I just think he's awesome. Asperger's adulthood. Thank you. And also, I don't understand the people. If you took Bruce Lee today, his speed and his determination and his athleticism, he would win every title in his weight class in MMA, and it wouldn't be because he was already wrestling. So I don't understand people who say that. There are some people who say that, oh well, he wouldn't be able to win in today's UFC. If he trained, if he focused a little bit more on jiu-jitsu and wrestling, which he was already doing, he would be unstoppable. So I don't know how people say this. Anyway, thank you, Asperger's adulthood. Thank you. Who might be in consideration to become nominee? And who would be selected as the vice presidential running mate? Several likely combinations come to mind, starting in many minds with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, right. One in particular, truly out-of-the-box combination, stops the discussion in its tracks. Hillary Clinton. What have I been telling you? He was also the first Asian actor to make blockbuster films in the United States at a time when that never happened. So he was a pioneer. Bruce Lee was a pioneer in Hollywood. He broke through so many barriers. He was just an unbelievable. Love Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. Hillary Clinton is the nominee, and Barack Obama is a running mate. So this is the Hill. Now, have I said anything like when I would say Clinton is going to be nominee, people would roll their eyes and say I'm nuts. I'm telling you, it's going to take place. I don't think President Obama will be her nominee, her vice president. Biden will. You know what? Biden might not even pick a vice president. He might not even pick a vice president. We'll see. So, I mean, he could, but that would simply be Clinton's vice president. Look, it's important to realize this, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. Everything you read about pertaining to how they mistreated, undermined, set up President Trump, Michael Flynn, is related to Clinton being nominee again in 2020. There was never a doubt. It was never something that it was always scripted. Everything was scripted. Everything was preordained and scripted. So when people say, well, a lot, how could you have predicted this? You didn't know about Tara Reid. Well, no, I didn't know about Tara Reid, but you didn't have to know. If you elevate somebody that has a million problems, one of the million problems will come to the forefront. It's not that difficult to understand. It's like saying, well, we had 30 candidates. I mean, doesn't that show we weren't cheating? No, it shows actually you are cheating. You put 30 candidates that have no chance of winning, Bernie Sanders included, that you would cheat in 2 seconds if they got anywhere close to the nomination, especially Bernie Sanders, and then you just install Clinton when the worst of the 30 in terms of scandals becomes the nominee. And then people just don't even say it. They cannot believe that the Democratic Party is run by the most megalomaniacal, narcissistic couple we've ever had in this country. They can't believe it. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to see it. But that's why I say, look, I need Madam Secretary to run every 4 years. That's the only thing that would make me happy. I'm not going to be happy just with Trump winning. Sparky! Nice. Bruce Lee also was a winning boxer when in Asia. Thank you, Sparky. I didn't know that. I knew that he was a boxer, but that's awesome. Sparky, thank you. Thank you, Sparky. Sparky, thank you. So so let's continue. Could such a scenario come to pass if Biden flames out and Democrats don't want to hand the election to Trump? They would need to do something incredibly creative in a flash. Incredibly creative. Wow. Incredibly creative. Is that what it's called now? Is that what it's called now? So, some Democrats have confessed to me that having Biden drop out for whatever reason might not be bad news, since they aren't convinced that he can beat Trump in November, despite polls showing him in the lead. The polls are hilarious. They're hilarious. Sparky, thank you. Jimbo! Jimbo! This is the greatest soap opera since Dallas. Dallas! Is that Dallas? I don't know. I forgot. Dallas, yes. Yes. I love everything old school. Jimbo, yes. Jimbo, thank you as always. This is a soap opera where we know the script before we even watch the soap. We know the soap opera script. We know the script. We know what's going to take place. We know what's going to take place. And what can I tell you? The next obvious question is this: does the Constitution allow Obama's selection as vice president? Then it goes on to say, so the 22nd Amendment, the not Franklin Delano Roosevelt Amendment, states that no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Elected is the operative word. So if this article is saying if President Obama was the vice president, could you imagine a Clinton Obama? It won't. I don't believe that would happen, but it could. Sparky, the Asian star of the bridge on the River Kwai, was a star matinee idol in U.S. silent films as a young actor. Wow. Awesome. The Asian star on the bridge on the River Kwai, star matinee idol. So he was one of the pioneers as well. He was one of the, forerunners of pioneers as well. Yeah. I think that's huge, especially to be, one of the first Asian actors in Hollywood. And Hollywood at that time, I mean, really up until the 80s, even the 90s, Hollywood was, would typecast people. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you, Sparky. Greatly appreciated, Sparky. Thank you. None your business. Or as I used to say, Nunya Binez. Hello. Any speculation as to whether Hillary or Obama's little plans to be stopped by Durham's investigation People, Nanya Binis, people keep saying that Durham, I don't believe, is going to indict anyone until after the election. I think they're going to continue this until past the election. If he does indict people before the election, fantastic. But they could give Democrats, that could bolster Democrats into saying, "Oh my God, he's an authoritarian," and then that would just be yet another. The best thing they can do, Durham and William Barr, is to go past the election. Go past the election, because these investigations take years. They investigated Trump for 3 years. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. So going almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. So Nanya Binis, I think that they need to chill and relax and just, the election's only the election is in 6-7 months? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months. Sparky Susu Hayakawa. Okay, what's his name? I'm going to check that out right now. So Nanya Binis, I think that oh wow. Great. Professional Kentaro Hayakawa, known as professionally as Susu Hayakawa, was a Japanese actor and a matinee idol. Oh, wow. He was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood during the silent film era. Oh, wow. 1910s and 1920s. Thank you. This is great. This is great. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you, Sparky. Durham, look, the investigation needs to. They have to get It took Durham more than 1 year to get John Connolly and other FBI officials in prison. So it's not like. I don't think he should just speed it up. And the thing is, the more we find out, it's obvious people are going to get indicted. I've been saying that forever, and people will get indicted. Clinton will lose again. She could possibly... Look, there's a chance that Clinton could win. To say... When I say 25 to 30%, when I say 25 to 30% chance that Clinton could become president, I am explaining that do not underestimate Madam Secretary. She could win. Madam Secretary could win. Do not underestimate. I keep trying to tell people, and they don't even think she's going to be nominee. I'm light years ahead of that also. The same people who don't think that she's going to be nominee are the same people who are going to say, "Oh my God, she could win. Oh my God." Of course she could win. Look. Michigan and Pennsylvania have not voted for a Republican since 1988. Wisconsin didn't vote for a Republican since 1984. Go to the 270 to win map. If Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Maine... If Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Maine become go blue, then it's 269. It's 269. Who do you think, breaks the tie? The tie is broken by the House of Representatives. Democrats keep the House, they could win. Borracho wins! Borracho wins alone! Will they give it to Clinton before or after the Democratic Convention? I cannot tell you that with certainty. My crystal ball it can only give me, I haven't been right on everything, but I've been right on most things, and I can't tell you everything Borracho wins, but I can tell you that Clinton will be on the ballot. I believe that she's going to be she's going to be the nominee at the convention. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I've been saying. My prediction, categorical, is that Clinton is going to be the nominee eventually, one way or another. I believe that they're going to give her the convention at the nomination. So I don't think they would do so after the nomination because they wouldn't pass. Borracho wins. Borracho wins. Thank you as always for watching. They would not pass that opportunity. She could be the first female vice president, people. This would be a huge deal for the country. It's the centennial of the 19th Amendment. Sparky, thank you very much. He was also quarterback of his American college football team, despite growing up in Japan. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you very much. I have to do more research. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's so many great icons, so many great, and it's just, there are so many people who did so many amazing things despite obstacles that they had to overcome. Bruce Lee also had to overcome a lot of obstacles, but he still did. Like, he got his movies really big in Hong Kong, and then from that success, he got movies big in the United States and throughout the world. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Sparky, thank you. Borracho wins. I think Borracho wins. They're not going to... I think that she will be the nominee. She will be giving that speech. So be here when we do the live stream. When that speech, she will be giving that speech. So the prediction set in stone is that it's going to take place, and she's going to be nominee. I believe it could be after the convention, but I do believe that they're going to give her the nomination at the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, go to 270 to win. Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and Maine. They already had Minnesota. So, ladies and gentlemen, she could. Do you understand how easy it would be for President Trump to? He needs to go and win Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Florida. He must win Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. He must. He must win. Let's put it this way. He must win either Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida, or Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. But I think he has a good chance of winning Ohio. I think he has a good chance of winning Michigan. Pennsylvania could be a toss-up. Florida... But see, again, he has to win Iowa. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be very close. She could possibly win. You have to understand this. Borracho wins. Thank you. Sparky, thank you, Sparky. Wouldn't it be spectacular if HRC flies? Sparky. I think the jetpack from Super Bowl 2 or Super Bowl 1. How amazing was that jetpack? How amazing was the Super Bowl 1 jetpack? Don't you want that jetpack? I would totally just love that flying around the neighborhood. Oh my God. Like, what's up? Look at my jetpack. And then it runs out of fuel and I plummet to the earth. That's one thing that's scary. Like, how do you know how much fuel you have? Because if you got to refuel and you're like 80 feet up, and it's not a good time. That's interesting how, like, this hasn't been, it just has not been, hasn't been, designed or there have been no advancements to the Super Bowl I jetpack. Probably for good reason. My God, so many people wouldn't be good. Sparky, thank you. But yeah, I mean, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's happening. So, but why would Obama, who was endorsed Biden, never entertain such a possibility? I can think of two reasons. One, he would be seen among liberals, never Trumpers, as the one who stepped up to save the nation. I don't think that there's enough support for President Obama. Even if he were to run against Trump again, he wouldn't win, because Clinton was effectively a third Obama term. Then he would have to be asked questions about the Clinton servers. So that issue is never going away because they just overtly covered up all the crimes. Then he'd be asked questions about why his presidency, why his administration investigated Trump based on a dossier Clinton purchased. Trump, Cool Blue 71. Trump can lose the U.S. popular vote by 3 and hold Florida, Wisconsin, and lose Pennsylvania, Michigan. For 2-second electoral, D nominee has to flip Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Yes, tipping point one state, Wisconsin. Yes. Hold. Yes. If he held Florida and Wisconsin, yeah. But this is the problem, though. Wisconsin is probably going to vote Dem. So, Cool Blue 71, exactly. Wisconsin, though, that's the issue. That's Cool Blue 71. That's a great point. The thing that scares me is that Wisconsin, I don't see going to Trump. So, I could be wrong, but that is more of a liberal state than Pennsylvania, Michigan. But Iowa also. Iowa is still a swing state. Nobody really sees it that way, but it's gone back and forth. Those six, even getting one electoral college vote in Maine is important. Even getting every electoral college, it could be closer. Look, if let's just say if you go to reset the map 2016 actual, let's say. Let's say Clinton gets Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. It's 262 to 276. Then Iowa, it's 268 to 270. And then Maine, it would be 269, 269. Wow. So there you go. Boy, I'm still back where I was. Because Illinois, that's right. If Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Maine. It's funny. But again, you need Iowa. I think Iowa is just as important as Wisconsin. I mean, there's 4 electoral college votes difference, but Mitchell Smith, HAIs will be on Pennsylvania. Judicial Watch filed lawsuit found 1,700 deceased or removed voters registered in one county alone. Wow. My God. Wow. Mitchell Smith. Unbelievable. And then you get the Washington Post. Well, there is no systemic issue with... there really isn't a systemic issue with... Wow. It's really unbelievable. Really unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how it's unbelievable how close things could be. Mitchell Smith, and Cool Blue 71. In 2006, Cool Blue 71! In 2016, Florida, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan were Trump's 260, 270, 290, and 306 electoral college votes. For D's working backwards, they're 248, 268, 270, and 307 electoral votes. Florida, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Florida, you gotta get. And Florida was close. They're going to go back, and I'm telling you, Clinton has a chance. She has a chance, and you got to also, the media is going to, look, the bottom line also, Cool Blue 71, Mitchell Smith, everybody, Trump's personality is going to be the issue. The whole character, the Bizarro World Goodman character, and by the way, subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman, H.A. Goodman's other channel. Those channels are going to flourish in addition to this one when everything I say will take place like it's doing right now. But I fear that their maniacal contempt for President Trump's personality will overshadow any achievements that he's made, which are many. Will overshadow the achievements that he's made. So it'll be interesting. I think President Trump will still win. Cool Blue 71, Mitchell Smith. I think President Trump will still win. However, I do think that it could be quite close. I think that it'll be closer than people realize. And I do think that at the end of the day, you're going to find, Democrats cheat, and they've cheated since Tammany Hall, and they cheated in 2016, and they're going to be ready. They are going to be ready. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much to my super chat. Thank you. I will be back at around 9:30, 10 p.m. Pacific tonight. I might take a break from Bizarro World and give you a segment tomorrow. H.A. Goodman's other channel, subscribe there. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back at around 10 p.m. Pacific. 10 p.m. Pacific this evening. Thank you so very much to my super chat. Thank you again. Be here, ladies and gentlemen, in about 2 hours or so. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you in about 2 hours on this live stream. Thank you. Or another live stream on this channel. Thank you. Thanks to my super chat.